Hi everyone. It's some hot day here today. As you can see me sweating. But since I had some free time this afternoon, I thought it'd be fun to redo my profile picture. It's on my website. It's long overdue. I don't even look like that on that picture. So I took a few shots downstairs in my studio using lights and a simple light setup. And I thought it'd be fun just to go through those images and see how we could edit those and have that image go on my website. So let's go. Okay, alright, so here we are in Capture One, and there's a bunch of images that I took earlier. I often do this. I have this little head. I gave her a name at one point, but I forgot her name, so call her whatever you want. But I like to practice my light on her before I do like shoots on myself. It avoids me from going from behind the camera, in front, behind, in front, behind, in front. Look at shots and test and trial. So I do my light test on this little model. So I ended up with my good settings. I also have a light meter, which helps a lot. But I do like to see the reflection on the air and how the shadows go on a face before I try on myself. So a bunch of shots. I knew from the get-go I was going to go black and white, so I didn't pay much attention to the white balance. So I wanted something up close, and I wanted to try to shoot with a 1.4 aperture indoors. Usually I do 5.6, 8, even 11 to get all the head in focus, but for this shot I wanted to just have part of it in focus and the rest blurred out. So I tried a few things, smiling, looking closer. These ones are nice. Focus close. These are really close. This is the one I ended up picking. As you can see, I was just trying to tilt my head just a little bit, just a tiny little difference on especially the left eye. Here you don't see it, here you see it a little, here you see it more. The reason I took this one is because of the shadow depth of field of 1.4. The second eye is going to be blurry, and I found that just having it behind the nose like this didn't matter that it was blurry, because you knew it kind of makes sense that it's behind, but as you move closer like this, it starts to get a little odd. And well, here you don't see the eye, so I rather see both eyes, and that's why I chose this one. And after that there was a few other ones, but let's go with this one. So like I said, I knew I was gonna go with black and white, so we'll go in the color tab and do the black and white conversion right away. Enable black and white. With black and whites, if you use this tool, you can adjust the brightness of every color. Usually with skin tones, that's my choice. You do whatever you want, but I like to bring the skin tone brightness up. You can go all the way up, which is a little too much, but I'll go about halfway. Just brightening it up. Yellow will fine-tune the skin tone. If you want it really bright, you can bring it up also. It'll make it glow a little more. If you want more even skin tone, you can bring it down, so the skin tone will be much even. But since I have my skin is all wet because it's so hot, and you've got the reflection of the light, I think the glow effect is much better. The rest of the sliders won't do much here because there's skin tone and there's my headband, which is blue. So I can decide to make the headband white or dark, or white. In this case, I'll go darker, just like so, and the rest I'm not going to touch. The next thing I want to do is I like, even black and white, I like to add a toning to the shadows and highlights. For black and white, just a little bit of deep blue in this range goes well. As you can see, if you go all the way up, it creates a blue and black image. So just add a little bit, just so that it's barely noticeable, but I find it just adds a little bit of a punch to the image. And now also I'll do the same thing with the highlights. Add a little bit of yellow, really not too much. You can go higher and create sort of a more vintagey, almost sepia kind of look. That's too much for me. For this one, I'm just gonna add just a little bit, maybe a little bit more on the orangey side. So if you look at this, you're barely gonna see difference. I don't know how the video is gonna render this, but you barely difference. All right, maybe just add a little bit more into the shadows, just like so. All right, so next we'll just fine-tune the contrast and exposure of the shot. As far as exposure, it's really well exposed. The lights were set up to expose. There's nothing that's blown out, so we're good with exposure. What I want to do is maybe add some contrast so that the image is a little bit more dramatic, not too much. The rest is good, saturation doesn't apply. In black and white, highlights, shadows, everything is good. Blacks and whites are good as well. The levels are good. Now with the curve, I'm just going to bring the shadows up just to make the shadows not as dark. I might even increase contrast here a little bit more. Just like that. Let's bring it down just a little bit. There. I just find that with making the blacks not as deep black, it just add the blue that I just added, just shows a little bit more, and I kind of like the effect of that. Clarity, we're good with clarity. The shot is super sharp, so there's no problem there. You could go down. We can try. Down will create a more feeric kind of feel. Too much, that's too much for me. That's too much, I find too much drama in there. So let's actually bring it down just a little bit. So smooth my skin, because I'm not this young anymore, so my skin needs some smoothing. Vignette's not going to do anything here. Well, it will do something, but it's not going to be positive in this image. It's there's already all the darkness vignetting around the shot that's caused by the lights, which is already really good. Now the last thing I want to do in this shot is maybe remove some of the highlights in the top left corner here. I find this is too bright. It just brings up the attention there, which is not necessary. So let's do that through a layer, masking layer. Let's just call it top left, and we'll make a gradient filter, something like that. We'll play with it after, and maybe bring down the exposure a little bit and bring down the highlights, maybe just a little more there, something like that. So there we are. That's about all the adjustments I've made to a shot like this. I might go and just remove this little spot there. This is kind of bothering me. Like I say, I don't know if that's a dust part or even that shiny hair right there can go. And this one. I don't think that's good enough. There we go. All right, so that is me. The last thing, maybe, I think my profile picture on my website is portrait, not landscape mode. So let's create some variants with different crops and see. We'll make three different variants. Let's say. Let's do maybe a 4x5, 4x5. Something like that might work. And we have this. It's really very close-up shot, I have to admit. Maybe a little too close, but and another crop that I like, especially since I've started my website, is the 1-2 crop. I kind of really enjoy the 1-2 panoramic crop. I find it just gives a different kind of mood. So let's try this. And there we go. I kind of like that too. So might use that as a banner profile shot instead of a portrait, but we'll see. Let's see what we do. All right, so I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, well, good for you. All right, see you next time.